Hello, and welcome into our final show from Las Vegas.
We made it.
Thank God.
We're almost there anyway. Welcome to the PHNX Suns Podcast presented by Shady Rays. We are coming to you live from the Victory Burger at Circa, obviously one of the coolest sports books in Las Vegas, maybe even beyond, to be completely honest with you. It has been a very fun time, but we are all hurting for different reasons. I'm Lindsay, that's Saul, that's Gerald, and at the end of there, we've got Alan sitting in for Espo.
We're the four best friends that anybody ever had. Anyways, it's a satchel.
This is my favorite outfit that you've worn this week.
It's fantastic.
I know the song, but it definitely sounded like you were at Munchkinland in the Wizard of Oz.
We represent the
They're like the
Lollipop
Pop Guild.
Guild. The Lollipop Guild. Anyways,
Oh, man.
can we just get out of here, please?
No, I want to sit and reminisce on this outfit a little bit longer. Like, this is epic.
It's
I'm
actually
so
the
proud of
shirt, too. Like, I went
Yeah,
all out.
I know. This is legit.
Check out the Twitter account. You see the side-by-side, me and the real Alan.
Oh,
So,
boy. Well, I applaud you, Espo, for your valiant effort here to bring a great outfit to our final show. All right, let's get into some Suns talk. Here at Summer League, the first weekend is the place to be if you are somebody, so that means we got to talk to a lot of those somebodies. And we've got more of that coming to you today on the show. We'll start with Dwayne Rankin. You guys should know him. He's the Suns beat writer for AZ Central. And he talked about just the job that the Suns did in free agency this year.
For the rest of the roster, obviously, they had limited means to work with, rounding it out. What do you think of the job they did with all those free agency moves that they made?
Considering it was going to be all BetMGM, they got the job done for real. I was shocked to see who they brought in. I mean, Bates-Diop, he could play. I know he was in San Antonio. The numbers don't show as far as the scoring average, but he is a very good addition for this team. And then on top of that, to get a big and Eubanks active, Yuta can shoot it, although I keep hearing, he's an underrated defender. I'm still going, I didn't see it. Maybe it's something I just missed, I didn't see the defense that they're talking about. But if in order for him to play, you're going to have to be able to do that. I mean, looking at Brooklyn, he hardly played in the postseason. So I'm like, okay, what? He's a mystery.
Right.
I'm curious to see what he does. And then Metu is like a undersized, big, that can be active. I'm curious to see how they try to fit them in.
So the same thing that we're all kind of feeling, like it was a solid free agency for the Suns, but we can't wait until this season tips off so we can really see exactly how this all comes together.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks, obviously, with the bench, but there are a lot of things that each of them brings to the table. So it's going to be fun to see how these new guys fit in, whether they can be stars in their role. And I think some of them will, some of them might not pan out. But I think with only veteran minimums, they did a really nice job of putting together complementary pieces and strengthening some real deficiencies that we saw in the playoffs on the defensive end with the three-point shooting. So I'm looking forward to seeing the new guys in action, and we still have to wait multiple months. But it's exciting because, this is summer league time. Everybody's talking about the offseason and what's going to happen, what's already happened. So I'm excited.
Yeah, Dwayne brought up a Metu, and I caught up with an executive for the Kings yesterday out at Summer League, and he was saying with him, the biggest problem is can he get out of his own way? He's immensely talented as an athlete. He's got the tools, but can he mentally get out of his own way to do it? And that, I think, is an interesting question mark. Dwayne brought up Yuta and exactly what can he do. He was a defensive player of the year in college, but hasn't really shown it necessarily on the NBA side. Can he become a true rotational player? I think there's a lot of questions, and unfortunately we can't get those answers until October. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. Across a lot of people that you talk to when you talk about the Suns and what they did in the offseason, at least the people that we spoke to face-to-face, were big fans of what they've done.
Yeah.
They just thought they got tremendous value. Obviously, it helps when you have three superstars on that roster that can that very much appeal to bigs because you're going to have a lot of room, buddy. Again, we have 3 more months to wait until we get to see this. It feels like it's going to be forever.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
I mean, it could be worse. We could just be sitting here asking ourselves over and over and over what the Suns are going to do to fill out the rest of their roster. At least they ripped the Band-Aid off right away and said, here's what we're doing. It's going to be good. You're going to love it. Sorry you got to wait.
Right.
But at least we're not going to keep the anticipation looming over you.
Well, yeah, because last year we were still at this time sitting in limbo. Like, is Kevin Durant going to happen?
Oh, my
like,
God.
is he coming? What's going to happen?
And now we're just sitting here waiting for Paul George or James Harden.
Oh, boy.
God.
Yay.
Come on, it's Kelly Oubre Jr. That's why they've got the extra roster spot, all right?
But, Saul, you do bring up a really good point. Every single person that we have talked to, not named DNVR, of course, is really excited about what the Suns have done this offseason. They're looking forward to seeing what comes from all of this, and they are giving them really decent grades. Like, I'm not going to go as far as to say everyone's given the Suns an A, but they have praised them for what they were able to do, given the spaces that they were in.
You know, the great thing, and I mentioned this yesterday again, I spoke to Joseph Blair, assistant coach for the Wizards, former U of A Wildcat. I always have to throw that in there.
Of course.
But the two things that make me feel really, really confident about what's about to happen. Number one, Kevin Young still being on the staff and his high basketball IQ in terms of trying to make adjustments and trying to really figure out, this is going to be a complex puzzle, people. It's not going to be easy. You know, when we first got Chris Paul, I believe we started off that season, 1-3 or 2-4 or something like that. And everybody was hitting that panic button, right? And then they reeled off like 25 of their next like 28. Like, they were phenomenal. There's going to be an adjustment period because you got to learn how to practice is one thing. Scrimmages are another thing, but actual games are going to be just a little bit different. So I would encourage everybody, even if the Suns start off 5-5 or something, don't freak out. We saw that with the Miami Heat when LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, their first season, that first like 20-game stretch was kind of rough because they were all trying to figure each other out. Those pieces are complicated. The other part of this, besides Kevin Young, is just the Bradley Beal aspect. I've just heard so much from so many different people about his basketball IQ and how he studies the game, and just him, Booker, and KD. The one thing that is undeniable, and the biggest difference between what they're doing here versus what was happening in Brooklyn with the other trio, is that these guys are all about ball. They have a desire to be the best at basketball, and that's at the top of their priority list. And then there's a far distance between 2 and 3. That's what they're all about, and that's what gives me comfort and it allows me to sleep throughout the summer, people.
Well, you also got Fizdale on this staff. I think people forget just how good they did on building the coaching staff, too. This wasn't just, let's get a top-heavy roster. They got an all-star coaching staff on top of it, and guys that are very familiar with Vogel and the way he likes to do things. I think that goes a long way as well in helping these guys adjust to what's going to be their new roles and their new home here in Phoenix.
Well, and in the Rachel Nichols interview, I know we shared a snippet of it on our show the other day. The full thing is on our YouTube channel, so if you haven't watched it, make sure you go check it out. Gerald, you did talk to her about how a lot of people are comparing this Suns Big Three to the Big Three in Brooklyn, and she was like, it's not even remotely close to the same thing, good or bad. They're just three completely different people, and the personalities that you have with these three guys are going to be willing to work together. They're going to be selfless. They're going to, and she even mentioned Bradley Beal specifically. He's been that guy. He's got all the dollars. You know what I mean? He's had the scoring records and all the things with his team when he was with the Wizards. Now he wants to win. So he's going to do whatever it takes to win, and he's going to do it with two really wonderful teammates around him.
Yeah, and that was one of my favorite questions to ask people while we were out here and see the differing responses on why they're different, this Big Three compared to what the Nets had in Brooklyn. Nikias pointed out, maybe there's a playmaking deficiency or a passing deficiency compared to James Harden because he's one of the best passers in the NBA. But he feels like because all three of them can make plays, they might be able to compensate for that. And Tim McMahon brought up the obvious thing that nobody ever really touches on, is that, when those three were healthy in Brooklyn, they were really good together. It was all the off-the-court stuff and the personality stuff that was the reason behind the clash, and he doesn't see that same thing happening here in Phoenix. Neither do I. We'll have to see it in action, but these are three guys that are they're hoopers. Like that's the phrase that keeps being thrown around here in Phoenix, and they all fit that bill.
Yeah, and I think the biggest knock on this big three has been primarily money based. That people, the second apron, this won't work because of long term. But the thing is,
Who cares?
I don't care about the money. And I was talking with Ben Golliver of the Washington Post yesterday, and he's like, when you've got Matt Ishbia, what the hell does the money matter? Like that Ishbia, Ballmer, these guys don't care about the money side of it because they've got so much of it. So I think this, to Saul's point, it's going to take a little while for them to figure out the roles, how to handle it. But once they do, I don't think there's going to be a problem here.
I think there's a couple different aspects too that we haven't really spoken about. Devin Booker, I feel like he'll learned a lot from Chris Paul, and I feel like he's, to a certain degree, not all the way, but he's going to take on some of Chris Paul's kind of intangibles in terms of how you approach people on the court. Being assertive. Devin Booker definitely does not strike me as the type of person to mince words when he's on the court. It's, hey, get your ass over here because this is what needs to be done because we're in the moment. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat things, right? But I also think that you have KD, and I think Kevin Durant, we're not talking about this enough. I think Kevin Durant's appeal to a lot of players in this league, because he's been around for a very long time, is significant. And I think he's going to be able to come across to players in different ways than they've ever been talked to or spoken to before. And from a player-to-player perspective, I think that's far more valuable than what a coach can bring to the table, in my opinion. So Kevin Durant is going to have as big a part in the success of this team behind the scenes as anybody else, in my opinion.
Well, we saw it with KD and DA last year in the limited games.
I didn't want to bring that up because DA didn't exactly have the best finish to the season.
but you can see it though that Kevin Durant has an approach that's on the court that's a slightly different to the way Devin Booker handles it. So you got both sides of it, and we've talked about it multiple times on the show. People react differently to different types of leadership, and you need to kind of adjust that depending on the person you're talking to. And I think Kevin Durant can be that guy to pump up a guy like a DA, be like, hey man, I got you, I understand. And Devin Booker is the guy that can get in their grill and really force them to take things seriously.
Yeah. Well, and didn't we hear too a while back that KD really loves DA? Like that he's a big fan of DA, and I'm sure that it's got to make you feel good. If I'm DeAndre Ayton and I'm like, oh, Kevin Durant's my teammate and he likes me, talk about an ego boost.
What's it like to have your teammates like you?
Exactly. You know what I mean? All right, so we've got.
Did we just get thrown under the bus?
Yeah, he just what? Subtly threw that in there.
So I feel like these two just were saying we were bad teammates. Are we bad teammates?
No.
I think Espo and I were both saying that we wish you guys liked us more.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you're bad teammates.
We just wish you liked us a little bit.
You're more the Devin Bookers to us, all right?
Wow.
Me and Espo are just filling out the rest of the bench.
Yeah.
Here.
If Gerald and I are going to be Devin Booker, I guess I'll live with that.
Yeah, I can live with that, but I feel like I like 99% of people.
Why am I the 1%?
Why are we the 2%?
Why?
1%, yeah.
I feel like that's
Damn,
a you
Gerald.
question, not a me question.
Made it even worse.
Gerald's onto something.
Oh, my gosh. All right, we've got 2 super chats here. Big Vernon, thank you for your super chat. Said Katie's 17th year is coming up. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
And he's on the Phoenix Suns. That's even more crazy.
Yep.
And then we also got one from Leo. Thank you, Leo said, okay, Gerald, I see you showing off the guns. With the strong arm emoji.
This is just a travel fit that we needed to get off before we get out of here. Because
earlier when we started the show, everyone was like, just flex for us one time, Gerald. Just do it. Just do it.
Oh, my goodness.
This
objectification
give the
live
people
on air.
what they want, Gerald.
Gerald is not an object for your pleasure, all right?
First they put a poll in the chat to compare our calves, and now they're wanting you to flex. I mean, I don't know if I'm okay with this.
Listen, the Cavs thing is not even close, honestly, if we're going to be honest. But we're not going down that path. We got to get out of here, people.
Shots fired.
No, for him. I'm saying for him. It's not even close.
I didn't know where it was going.
No.
Because I know Gerald, I was like, I don't think he's throwing me
under
the bus.
No.
I think I'm going to live with this.
No.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
100 likes on the video, and we'll make Gerald flex.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow, we're just selling you out like
We are
that.
selling me.
I mean, Lindsay is just, Oh man,
Damn.
It
in
wasn't
Vegas
me.
too
It was
long.
Emma.
You've been
It
in
was
Vegas too
Emma. I
long.
just read the comment.
Lizzie's been in Vegas too long. She's pimping out Gerald.
Oh man, get me out of here! I need to go home.
Girth bombs. All right.
Oh, no. All right, let's get back on track. Gerald, you also caught up with Suns head coach Frank Vogel, and he spoke about what they're building in Phoenix and Summer League and a few additional things.
All right, Coach, so obviously as a defensive-minded coach, how do you like some of the additions to the roster? Drew Eubanks, Keita Bates-Diop, guys that can really defend and protect the rim.
Yeah, just length and toughness, in particular with those two guys. We want to make sure that we're one of the more physical teams in the league. We're going to have a lot of offensive firepower, but a guy like Eubanks comes in is going to give us great physicality.
I know you guys are new here. It's a new start.
Your score at the end of the third quarter, the Phoenix Suns 58, Miami Heat 53.
Yeah, well, I think it's clear to see what we're building here. Matt Ishbia has a super aggressive mindset to go out and acquire championship level talent, and we have a chance to do something special. And with Eric had a chance to come to Phoenix many years ago, and it never worked out back then. But things come full circle, and now he gets his opportunity.
When you look at the roster now, it's pretty much filled out. How do you like what around?
Yeah, I really like the job that James has done. With basically minimums as our only tool to improve the team and build out our role players, and we got some good players. You're not going to be the sexiest names out there, but they're guys that are really good at what they do. And they're guys that are entering their prime. So we're going to have a bunch of guys we can throw in there to fill out those spots and ask them to be stars in their roles.
Last one, got asked, how do you like the rookie so far?
Toumani's playing great. I love his energy. He's a great rebounder, really making good decisions with the basketball, tenacious defensively, and very impressed with him so far after 2 games.
Yeah, so obviously with these types of interviews, we have very limited time because that was actually between quarters. Frank Vogel was nice enough to come over and give me a few minutes of his time. Same deal with Eric Gordon at halftime, which we'll play later. But yeah, it's cool to see the coaches so optimistic about what they're building, even though he's only been there a couple months. And it's really cool to see, obviously, players want to come and be part of it. Like we said on the show the other day, we've been hearing that the Suns have had to turn away guys that wanted to come here, and that's part of why we saw in the first 45 minutes of free agency they had 3 or 4 reports pop up. This guy's coming. This guy's coming. So this is a different organization. All the allure that we thought the Suns might have when Robert Sarver was gone is finally here. We have an aggressive owner. We have a well-liked coach. We have a superstar that other superstars want to come play with. And now you're seeing it with respected guys like Eric Gordon and all these different veterans taking probably less money to come here and compete for a championship. It's pretty cool to see. And I think Vogel is the type of personality that you want to be managing all these new faces and to be incorporating into a new era.
I love that he was like, oh, they're not sexy names. Don't you have enough sexy names with the 4 guys that you got at the top? I love what they're building. I also love the fact that you and Shane managed to put him between the Lakers and Pacers logo there. That was impressive. And I don't even think it was intentional.
No.
Right? It just happened that
unintentional
way,
art.
One of the things that I talked to Frank Vogel behind the scenes as well, and I gotta say, people, we are in a good position, because if there's any coach that I've met that has just absolutely just been really open and honest and willing to talk about a lot of different things, Frank Vogel's at the top of the list. He's already one of my favorite coaches to ever engage with. There's a story I want to share real quick. Yesterday, I was sitting next to this older gentleman. He's 96 years old, and he has his own placard at Summer League courtside. His name's Bill Burka, and he works for the Lakers right now. He's worked for the Lakers for the last 30 years because of Jerry Buss. Affinity for him. He really loves this guy. And he was in between jobs, I guess, and he offered him a job, and he made sure that he was a legacy beyond when he would pass away. And so guy after guy around the league kept coming up to Bill and saying, how are you doing? And Bill, he's losing his hearing. He has a hearing aid in, but he's still taking notes. And he's taking all these scouting report notes, and he's writing everything by hand. He's got a little diagram. And I just sat there. I swear half of the game, all I'm doing is watching Bill work. And it was fascinating. And then Frank Vogel comes over, and he starts talking to Bill. And he spends 15 minutes with his arm around him, talking to him in his ear. And Bill's telling him he misses him. He wishes he was still with the organization. And they share a few moments. And it was just so humbling to know that an individual like Frank Vogel, who's at the peak of his profession as a major head coach, understands the value of every single person in the organization, all the way down to a gentleman like this. And it was fascinating. It was probably one of my top moments of the summer league period. So
yeah, he's a good dude, and we saw him sitting next to Rick Carlisle, talking to him for a length of time. You also got a new nickname for Frank Vogel.
I do.
What is this nickname?
So I said, hey, Frank, I like Frankie Smokes, but it might not.
Did you actually tell him?
Oh yeah. I said, I don't know if that really fits the vibe, and I don't really want you to hear the podcast one day and be like, Frankie Smokes, I'm offended or whatever, And he's like, well, I don't smoke, so that's good. I'm glad you asked me. And so he's like, you know what? I had a friend of mine in high school. He's like, I'm not Italian, but he used to always call me Vogelini. And I was like,
it's a Vogelini.
I was like, done, son. We're doing it. So Vogelini is his name.
There you have
it. Okay. That's fantastic.
Because he's serving it up.
I mean, everybody that I have talked to out here at Summer League who has ever crossed paths with Frank Vogel has talked about just how good of a person he is. And like you said, even behind the scenes, right? If something is going on, he'll just reach over and be like, hey, we're not going to do this today. Hey, let's stop that for right now. We'll pick this up a little bit later. Like, it's just open lines of communication with every single person that he crossed paths with. Obviously, some are a little bit different than others, but the fact that he's so willing to communicate and be honest and direct with people is going to just be such a... I mean, Gerald, you probably will love it in the post-game interviews.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to ask him questions. He's going to tell you maybe.
Yeah, and we have to give credit to Hello on this one. We might have to float a new nickname possibility next time we see him, because Frank Sinatra is phenomenal.
Okay.
Not
Frank
spelled
Sinatra.
Sinatra.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask his thoughts on that one, because that's great.
He's going to be like, what's with you guys in the nickname?
Right?
Why are you asking me about nicknames?
How many nicknames?
How about Frankie wins a title? How about that nickname?
Yeah.
It doesn't ring as well.
It doesn't.
It
It really doesn't.
The same way.
It sounds like a bad elementary school book.
Frankie wins the title.
Oh, my God. Why does it, though? Well, listen, we're down bad, but not because of where we stayed. It's just because Vegas got us good. But Circa was a phenomenal host. Like, this hotel and this resort was the best thing that happened to us all trip long.
Yeah.
The rooms were spectacular. The bed, the pillows were top notch, which is really important to me. Mm-hmm. But then all the amenities, right? We've got the sports book, you've got the casino, you've got the
Stadium Swim,
Stadium
the cabanas. We got cabanas 2 times out of this trip.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Turn me up.
It was so much fun.
The 24-hour convenience store with no doors on it, so you can go in any time, get what you need. That saved me multiple times out here.
I can't tell you how many trips I've made there to buy allergy-specific Tylenol. Because, girl is struggling. So I loved that little 24-hour convenience store. Absolutely. If you guys are planning to come out to Vegas anytime soon, make sure you look into Circa Resort and Casino. If you're a sports fan, you definitely need to be here at this resort.
It's bucket list for sure.
It's amazing. Also, we are going to be heading back home to Phoenix this afternoon. So that means we got to make a stop at Circle K. We got to fuel up. Mm-hmm. We got to get snacks. We got to get coffee, Red Bull, Monster, whatever it is for your road trip. Circle K has you covered. So make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff that Circle K has to offer. And right now, if you text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club, you're going to get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pop. So head to CircleK.com/store-locator to find Circle K's near you.
What's really dope is just when you think that the Nuggets couldn't screw you over anymore, we just found out we can't leave for an hour because they forgot their lights. Thanks, DNVR. Thanks, Nuggets. Always sticking it to the man.
Well, that's what your older sibling is supposed to do, right? Make your life a little bit miserable.
You two can't leave.
They won the championship.
Hey, you two can't leave. Lindsay and I have a flight to catch after this.
Hey.
So.
That's not a flex, and we don't want to bring that up. I promise you, we don't want to bring that up.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Eric Gordon. This was a fun one, Gerald. He chatted with you yesterday at the game and shared a little bit about why he chose to join the Suns and more.
What ultimately made you want to come to the Phoenix Suns?
Well, to compete for a championship. I like the guys, the type of style of play that we can, and, the direction of trying to be in a championship team. I just like my chances there.
How exciting is it for you as someone who can handle the ball, who can likes to launch threes, to be able to play with a group of guys that can play on or off the ball as well?
Yeah, I think my skill set, just rubs off with those guys because I could gel with anybody. We know it's all about how we can figure out how we can play well at a high level together. And with me, I'm able to fit in with those guys that we have on the team. So just looking forward to it.
Do you have any experience with Frank Vogel before, and how have those conversations been as far as getting to know a new head coach?
Yeah, well, I've gone against Frank for a long time, and really good defensive-minded coach, and we have a good offensive talent. So if we can gel all of this together, it should work out well for us.
Yeah, so again, it was very brief. I had to kind of grab him in the middle of a crowd of people, and he was kind enough to give me a minute of his time right before the third quarter started there. But yeah, it seems like he said, I like my chances there in Phoenix to compete for a championship. Yeah. He probably could have made more money somewhere else after the Clippers, cut him and saved themselves a bunch of luxury tax money. So it's like I said, it's really cool that guys like that want to come here at this stage of his career. It makes a lot of sense too.
Well, I mean, he's still making a lot of money from the Clippers, so it's all right. But
he sees the vision.
No, he knows what he wants to accomplish. Yeah. I mean, we knew that you were going to get guys, and I hate the term, but ring chasers, guys that wanted to come in and win and be able to win for the first time in their career. And Eric Gordon was the one that the Suns wound up landing. And out of the names that you heard, I think he's the best fit. He's the guy that can actually help you the most. There were a lot of talk about Kevin Love and these other guys. I think Eric Gordon's the guy that comes in and truly helps you and in some of the bigger moments this year.
I love that all of these guys see the bigger picture, right? Mm-hmm. And Espo, to your point, like the whole ring chasing thing, that's something that we created.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have made this idea that if you don't have a ring, you are a less than player.
Right.
And I don't think that's fair. But since we created it, it's going to happen. But I don't care if it happens as long as it's attracting top talent to our team.
Yeah. But what other profession do you get hated on for trying to be at the top of your profession? For making choices to find yourself at the top of your profession? Nowhere.
Yeah.
People understand that you want to go do that. You take chances so you can accomplish that. I think we all did that coming here. You take a chance because you want to do something special. And I don't think a guy like Eric Gordon or anybody for that matter in the NBA should get knocked for that. And if he accomplishes it, he's gonna reach the peak that's what you compete for. So.
Yeah. And it's not like he won't be contributing. He absolutely will be contributing. If the Suns are able to go on and win a championship this season, you know that he's not just going to be somebody who's riding coattails.
No.
Like, that's not the type of ring chaser we're talking about. Like, he's coming here. And, Gerald, to your point, we know he gave up more money. The reports are out there that so many teams were interested and that there was more money available. So he sees the big picture. He's bought into what the Suns are doing. And those are the type of guys you want to have on your squad one way or the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for Eric Gordon, and I'm excited for the rest of the team. Most importantly, though, I'm excited to get back to Phoenix because I've been craving chicken tenders this whole time.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to find any that sound and look, good for me.
Uh-huh.
But I know Four Peaks has the best chicken tenders. So I think I'm going to have to make a trip over to Four Peaks Brewery this weekend so I can get some chicken tenders at the Four Peaks Pub. Of course, they also have phenomenal beer available, whether it's the Rattle On Red Ale, the Kilt Lifter, the Wow Wheat, the Suns Brew. Four Peaks beer is top notch. And it goes hand in hand with Suns basketball, that's for sure. So make sure you check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You do have to be 21 years or older to drink Four Peaks, and we ask that you drink responsibly.
I had Daniel Caston, one of our listeners, messaged me the other day, and he said, look, I'm going to be honest. I don't drink a lot of beer, but I've heard you talk about the Tee Shot. I had to go try it. One of my favorite beers I've ever had now, he said. So, look, go out there. You're going to love it when you do.
Yeah, you guys talk about that Tee Shot all the time.
Good.
So, I mean, it's obviously good.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to the case of it in our office.
You know what else is good? Illegal Pete's. And tipping off your week with Margarita Mondays at Illegal Pete's is elite. Exclusive to Arizona locations, you can get $3 margs all day every Monday. Nothing brightens up that Monday mood more than soaking up the sun with a few margaritas. And of course, you can't forget about Taco Tuesday. $2 tacos all day, every Tuesday. You can enjoy your favorites, whether it's chicken, pork, veggies, all for just $2. So swing by and start your week off the right way at Illegal Pete's. All right, guys. So we got to see our second Summer Suns game yesterday. Obviously, Toumani Camara is the talk of Summer League. I am really loving what we're seeing from him. I love that he's trying a bunch of different things, that they're putting him in different positions to really just see exactly what it is that he brings to the table. But the one thing that stood out to me yesterday is that I really like that he's not afraid to drive the ball.
No, it's all like downhill right now for him. There's not a lot of east-west. It's all north-south.
I know the turnovers, obviously, we got to clean up that, but it's still promising nonetheless.
And that's something that these are different situations than what he's going to be put in. Obviously, it's against lesser talent in Summer League, but it's also like the Heat after that first quarter that he had, they really focused in on him. They threw multiple defenders at him. They tried to take him out of the game, and that's something that he's not going to experience at the NBA level, at least not for a few years. So it's a good learning process for him. He had a few turnovers, but most of them were like the right thought process, just a mistake or the pass or the angle wasn't there for him.
Well, and it's expected in Summer League because you're not exactly running a full-fledged system. You practiced for 4 days before you come here. You have a handful of of shoot-arounds, and you're playing with a bunch of guys you probably will never be on the court again with. So I don't read much into that. I just the intangibles, the little things that he did were great. But I think the biggest win yesterday was the fact that game didn't go to overtime because nobody likes Summer League overtime unless you get to the second, and then it's sudden death, and that's kind of fun.
It was a fun finish, too, the alley-oop there to Jamison to put them up, and then they left that shooter in the corner wide open.
Robinson, wide open.
They were making fun of Gabe for that because he played for Tom Izzo. They were like, Izzo wouldn't have liked that defense out of you on that play. But
the one guy on the team you could not leave open. You left open.
But how about the trying to miss the free throw and making it?
I thought Toumani really played it was a so-so game for me. The turnovers, yes. I thought that I can see what Gerald's saying in terms of like the thought process is there. It's just to me it was far too delayed when he finally decided to pull the trigger on some of these passes. Or to be honest, from my vantage point, I was like, the window ain't there. You should have never thrown that. You know what I mean? So. But overall, the effort was still there. I like the fact that he keeps shooting the three because he needs to, because that's what's going to make him a lot of money in this league, especially once he starts to connect on those. I do like the shot. I did notice a slight little hitch in his shot on his release that he'll get worked out. But overall, I thought, through 2 games, you got to be happy with what you've seen from Camara, and hopefully he'll get some more reps and they don't pull him from Summer League, because I am absolutely opposed to that.
Yeah, the defense has been good. It's just a couple of those things like the turnovers, like the 3 of 8 shooting from the free throw line, things that need to be cleaned up, and he probably will, but it'll take some time because, like we've been saying, second-round rookie, temper your expectations, but I like the way that he's looked so far.
His help defense has also been elite.
Yes.
And that's something that's to be expected, right? He's not coming in a number 1 overall pick. He has work to do to be NBA ready, especially NBA ready on this Phoenix Suns roster. But the potential is there, the work ethic is there, and that's the most that you could ask for out of the guy like Toumani Camara. And it's been really fun to root for him now. Like, he seems like a genuine dude as well. When we had him on our show, we absolutely loved him. But even beyond that, everything that we've heard post-game after Summer League, he just seems like a good guy who's going to be really easy to root for this year.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you already know how I feel about that.
We got a super chat from Pyro. Thank you, Pyro, for your super chat. Said, Any other players y'all like outside of Toumani? Is there anybody on this Summer Suns roster you'd want for a two-way spot?
To be honest with you, I really love Trey Jemison.
Yeah.
I think his physicality, somebody had pointed out, well, he only got 3 rebounds yesterday. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand the abuse my man is not only taking but also dishing out down low.
Yeah.
He's strong. He's assertive. He has a lot of work to be done, right? He's still pretty raw, but man, one of the things that definitely stands out about him is he is as vocal as anybody else on that court. He is shouting at guys left and right. He's telling guys where to be. He's giving, he's calling out ice, ice, ice all the time. And then he also gives it to the other team. Like he'll talk his shit. I talked to him after the game, and we've talked to him twice now in post games, and both times I've been very impressed with his mentality, his demeanor. He wants it. So I hope the kid gets a shot. It would be really awesome if we had a G League team right now, because he definitely should be on it. But Trey Jemison's the one that definitely stands out to me.
Yeah, Vogel, even in his interview on NBA TV the other day, mentioned him as a candidate for that one of those two-way spots.
Yeah, well, they have 3 two-way spots now, so they've got to put those to good use. I would like Trey Jamison. I think Gabe Brown has been interesting. He had that incredible dunk yesterday. That was pretty fun. And that Usher kid, he was pretty good yesterday as well.
He let it burn yesterday.
Yeah, so I it's only been
Usher.
God.
He just walked right past it. He didn't realize he did it.
No.
Let's go.
I got Vegas brain. I just went right past that. But no, it's only been 2 games, so I still want to watch a little bit more and evaluate, but he did have a nice couple of sequences yesterday. He hit a catch and shoot 3, then took it to the hole, got an and 1. So there are a couple of guys on the roster that I wouldn't mind getting to know better. Grant Sherfield, another one, the guy that threw the alley-oop to Jemison for the win. So those are the 3 guys that I'm kind of keeping an eye on for now.
That oop. Everybody wanted to jump out the gym.
Yeah,
but he got a little. He got stuck on the rim a little bit, and then so it wasn't as clean. It was like, oh.
He was joking about it after the game. He was like, "Yeah, I wasn't missing that one. I was muscling that one in there because there's no way I could mess that one up."
Oh my goodness! All right, guys. As we start to round out today's show, we did get a question from Hello in the chat. Has anybody won any money this trip?
Well, I was down 100. And then we went to the tables again last night, and I couldn't even explain to you the shit show that happened at the casino.
In a bad way or a good way?
It was the most epic thing I think I've ever seen in the casino.
Yeah.
I can't really go into detail because I'll get into trouble for it, but let me just say it was fucking wild.
I heard the details, and you're missing out by not hearing the details.
So this is a story for Discord.
This is a story that's going to stay with me. Anyway, but I ended up going up pretty big last night. Then I fell back to the table. So all in all, I only lost $50 this weekend.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad.
I'm down 20. That's it.
On slots?
Yeah.
I haven't gambled at all.
No?
I lost too much last summer. And I went, I'm good, thanks.
Gerald, do you gamble? I
do occasionally, but this year I just bought a house and I'm saving for a wedding, so this was not the year for that.
I mean, you could have potentially paid for all of it,
your money.
I gambled with some of the food spots we ate at. I'll be honest there. That barbecue joint Lindsay chose, I think we all gambled a little.
Now, hold the phone. That is the 3rd time you have thrown shade at me about this barbecue joint. I just looked up barbecue, and it had over 500 5-star reviews, so I said, okay, that worked.
I mean,
none of you objected.
I'm just saying, when they say that you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say it at all. And I've been pretty quiet about it.
The barbecue place?
Yeah.
It was awful. Listen, let's be honest.
The beans were good. But
everything else
was like,
no, it was not.
I really thought I was going to get food poisoning from the potato salad.
But I don't understand how they literally have over 500 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
It's called
Vegas. It's called people in Vegas that don't know shit about barbecue.
It must be. I was just how is this so bad?
What we need to do next time is go back to Fuku Burger because that place is elite.
Yes. All right, what's your favorite part? What has been your favorite part of this trip?
For me, it was honestly I don't know how many of you guys out there have a job that you thoroughly just enjoy and love. But like every time we get together with the All-City peeps for this, from Chicago and Denver, it's like you're seeing family, and we got to have a couple family-style dinners. We got to hang out by the pool a ton, and you just get to know everybody and their stories and how they got to this specific company, because they're all similar to our stories, and then get to just really grind all day. Like, I love the grind. Like, I love the fact that, we're up, hungover at 10 o'clock in the morning doing a show, and then we're off to do Summer League and cover this and cover that. And Gerald, Shane, and Emma and Mac were just unbelievable this week. And then we all, tried to do our part to help help support them, because they were doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. It was fantastic. I love the fact that we work hard and we play hard, and that's probably my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Saul. I think it's us and All-City coming together was my favorite there. So
I will say I really enjoyed last night's dinner. It took so much out of me, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've been sick this whole trip. We literally got in on Friday, and it was like, oh, you think you're going to have fun in Las Vegas?
Nope.
Couldn't be you. Here's all the mess.
Yeah.
But I took a stop by the little 24-hour convenience store at Circa, grabbed some nice help, and just powered through for last night's dinner. And last night's dinner was bomb.
Yes.
Like, it was really good.
Yeah.
I had
what's it called again?
Carson Kitchen.
Carson
I
Kitchen.
had the dessert. It was a brownie, but the ice cream that came with it was a brown sugar bacon ice cream.
Yeah.
Best ice cream I think I've ever had in my life.
I had the donut bread pudding.
So good.
was
That one was
so
actually good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes. Gerald?
There's so many things that happen on this trip. I can't even narrow it down to like 5, to be honest with you, because I love coming here and hanging out with everybody. I love, like Saul said, the grind of like just trying to get interviews and talk to people and meet people, because you follow some of these people on Twitter and you know of them, but being able to connect in that way and just get to know people and what they're saying, what they're seeing, it's so much fun. And then, like you said, All-City, going out with all of these people that we see from time to time, but not like that. Like,
That we talk
it's
shit
just
with.
so much fun. Yeah. Going to like the NBA Summer League party and having fun with them. Like, it's just been a blast. It's been exhausting because it's been nonstop between the work and the play. But it's just been such a cool experience, and to be here and Stadium Swim and all these different places. Like, it's just been so much fun.
I do have one other thing. I do want to give a shout out to the Suns. I think that organization and the people that are behind the scenes working, we got a chance to really hang out with them a lot over the last couple days. And man, I just feel like they always had good people behind the scenes, right? But now they're getting the opportunity to flourish because they're not getting held back to a certain regard. And they're phenomenal. The organization is in a great place. And we should all be excited and proud. They're excited and proud. They're very excited about the potential for this season. We're all excited, and I don't think I've ever been as high as I am on the Suns right now, because I just feel like we're in a really good spot.
Also, major shout out to Shady Rays
Yes.
for hiding
Yes.
the death look behind these glasses.
Yes.
We actually look normal when we have our Shady Rays on, which I
Yes.
very, very much so
Gerald-
appreciate.
Gerald wore them out to dinner last
He
night.
did.
That's how tired those
Never
eyes
took
are.
them off.
Gerald is committed to the Shady Rays game. If you guys want to get your hands on some Shady Rays, it is gear that is built to last. They are premium polarized shades. They're an independent glass company with a world-class product, and exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Also, if you're looking for some really cool gear, check out our friends over at Pins and Aces. They are the official golf apparel partner of PHNX and All-City. We absolutely love our Pins and Aces gear. We get tons of compliments on it. The nice thing about it is I feel like because the material is so nice, you can pretty much wear it year round. Like it's breathable, but it's also like, I don't know, it can keep you warm at the same time, if that makes sense. But they have amazing polos, hats, golf bags, and so much more. So check out pinsandaces.com and use code PHNX to receive 15% off your first order and get free shipping. That's pinsandaces.com, and that promo code is PHNX. All right, we cannot round out the show without giving some love to our guy, Frank Kaminsky, this past weekend.
To Ashley Brewer.
Congratulations, to him and his wife, Ashley. The Kaminskys getting married up at Kaminsky Cove.
Emma, do we have the other photo?
Wait, no, I see something out there, though.
What do you see?
Do we have? I did attend the wedding.
He was there.
Yeah. It was covert ops, but I was there. All right.
Covert ops. I got it. I got it.
Well, did you see what Frank? Okay, Frank's on his honeymoon now, I assume, right? That's usually what you do after the wedding. Right. Did you see his tweet yesterday? He takes a picture, and it's literally of a cove, and he goes, "Where am I?" And he tweets it, and I reply, "You know what I'm going to say." And Frank goes, "I've been waiting for your response."
Yes.
Well, it's funny. I saw the other one by his wife that said, "Where are we?"
Ooh, already in hot water. You just started.
They're at the Kaminsky's Cove now. It's theirs together.
There you go. Yeah, we got to give some love to the Kaminskys, the newlyweds. Of course, we're big fans of Frank on this show. Wish them the best. And it was a star-studded event. Mikal Bridges was there. Was Campaign there?
Campaign was there. I talked to him on the sideline. He was telling me about how much fun it was. So
it seems
it's a good
like
time.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank and his wife were there. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was unbelievable. I'm glad I got to go there before I came here.
Oh, yeah.
Also, happy anniversary to my wife. 14 years today.
Oh, happy anniversary.
So I got to get the hell home because I'm going to be in trouble if I don't.
All right, that means we got to go. Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you as always. Here's the deal. We're headed back to Phoenix this evening, so that means we will be back to regularly scheduled programming. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. show.
Yes. I'm ready.
Thursday, 3 p.m., Friday, 3 p.m., and then we'll be back on like normal stuff. But tomorrow, 3 p.m., come hang out with us.
And in the meantime, we have a ton of content from Summer League. All these cool interviews. We got Nikias, we got Tim McMahon, Rachel Nichols, Eric Gordon, Frank Vogel. We have 3 from Suns players coming later this week that we haven't even shown on or teased on the show yet. So make sure to go to our YouTube channel, watch those interviews. A lot of good stuff in there.
I'm trying not to sneeze again. You can follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And, of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
It's not a purse. It's a satchel. And Shane, help! Ahoy, hoy.
Help!
Hey yo, my lifestyle is retro. Tell the Phoenix Metro. Megas in control and he ain't never gonna let go. PHNX though, Lindsey, Gerald, Espo. Saw past the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand.